I'm Jacob.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going for a virtual drive.
'20 Suzuki Jimny.
So we can't drive it right now, and we might actually never have an opportunity to drive it, but we're gonna check it out anyways because we're actually really interested in this car.
And I personally always loved the compact four-wheel drive cars from Suzuki. I loved the X90 as a kid. I loved the Sidekick as a kid. And now there's this, but we'll never get it.
And don't forget about the Samurai, the Tracker, and also the Sunrunner. Yeah, this thing had like so many different names in North America.
But from the old ones, I've always been Team X90 because it's like the weirdest of them all. Horsepower and torque.
100 horsepower, 95 pound-feet of torque from a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder.
That sounds really slow, but it is a small car as well.
Yeah, and that's probably the lowest horsepower number I've said in the last, I don't even know how many years, but you can get it in auto or manual, which is really nice.
And it only comes in a two-door as a four-seater and it's body on frame.
So yeah, this is a really small four-wheel drive car. You can take it anywhere you want because it's tiny. It's kind of like being able to drive an ATV. So off-roading my Raptor, I don't fit anywhere. This thing would fit everywhere.
And this can be all-wheel drive and it can also be rear-wheel drive. You can switch it up.
So yeah, it's basically like any other truck. It's primarily rear-wheel drive and then you can switch it into four-wheel drive or four-wheel low.
And then they call their all-wheel drive system All Grip. Is that cool or not cool?
It's kind of a cool name. I've never heard anything like that, but the problem is you can't lock any of the differentials. It's only like a brake torque LSD kind of thing.
But on like such a small, weird car, like, do you really need it?
Probably not, especially because it has really good approach angles, breakover angles, and departure angles, pretty much like a Wrangler, not like a Renegade, because the Renegade is kind of the closest version of something like this that we get in North America.
And then what about the ground clearance? It's 21 centimeters. That's not that bad for how small it is.
No, it's really not. It's a little bit less than a Wrangler, which is really good.
And from everyone I've watched driving it, it looks like it moves around a lot on the road and it's very, very slow.
Yeah, I mean 100 horsepower isn't really going to take you to 100 kilometers very quickly, but it still looks like fun off-road. I mean, that's why you buy it. You don't really buy it for on-road, even though you're probably going to spend most of your time on the road.
I think it's perfect for like a stylish little city car with some off-roading as a hobby because it's small. You can get it anywhere. You can park anywhere. But then it's got more off-road capability than most things. So should we talk about the style and the looks?
Yeah, so this thing basically looks like a baby G Wagen, straight up.
Yes, the 4x4 squared to be precise because it was the exact color as this.
Yeah, minus the liftedness. But anyways, it looks really good, nice and squared off, a lot better than the previous generation did.
To me, this kind of looks like a combination of the G Wagen, a Hummer front end like an H3, and then also a Jeep inside and out.
Yeah, you got really nice headlights. They are LEDs, and you got a really nice grille because it says Suzuki on it.
Yeah, I like how they hopped on the trend with the G Wagen and the Jeep for this year with the circle LED headlights.
And looking at the side profile, this thing obviously looks like a box. Got decent looking wheels, nothing special, but you can get Steelies on the base model, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I would stick with the alloys for this one. I wouldn't get the Steelies. And then with the rest of the side, doesn't the front window kind of look like an F-150 window where it goes down?
Yeah, I kind of see that a little bit.
And then we also have huge fender flares, pretty much exactly like the G Wagons.
And depending on what color you pick for your car, the roof color changes.
Yo, the Jimny owners are gonna get mad if you call this a car. It's a sport utility vehicle.
Sorry, I mean, it is a truck because it is body on frame, actually.
Okay, which color would you get on the count of three? 1, 2, 3. Yellowish green.
Yeah.
100%. So moving on to the back, we do have a full-size spare there.
Yeah, that's really going to help you off-road, so you don't have to get it from underneath, and that also gives you a little bit more ground clearance. And the taillights look all right. They're blended into the bumper.
Yeah, the taillights and a lot of other features are based off the other generations of the Jimny because it's been around since the 70s, and this is the 4th gen. So lucky for us, the website showed us all the things that are common and brought to this one.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, we never got this car, so it's cool for us to look at the heritage of this because we didn't really understand it before.
Yeah, hopefully they can bring back a new X90. That would be a lot of fun, but they never will.
Yo, they should just partner with Chevy again and just bring this thing over.
Or did Chevy pretty much just rebadge Suzukis back in the day?
Yo, I don't know. Whatever they did, they need to do it again and just bring it here.
And then to end the back part, the trunk does open to the side. It doesn't open straight up, which I guess is kind of obvious because you can't do that with a spare tire.
Yeah, that's basically Jeep style and the old FJ, which they're going to modernize soon as well.
And then if we move on to the interior, starting with the trunk, there is absolutely no trunk space, like just enough for one bag. Until you fold down the back seats, then you've got pretty much normal car space.
So we should convert that to the box test. And obviously it doesn't fit many boxes.
And then if we move up to the front of the interior, it's very basic, lots of hard buttons, nothing too complex. You can get an upgraded infotainment screen that does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which isn't that surprising in this car, but it is pretty cool.
I was a bit surprised to see it, but it is 2020, so we should kind of expect that by this point. But yeah, the base infotainment is pretty budget. And we also have the old school style shifter for the 4 low and 4 high.
Then you've got a grab handle on the passenger side. It looks very Jeep-ish. And then on the driver's side, if you look at the gauges, it's just 2 regular tacks with some digital in the middle. It's got a lot of like old school and modern for how it looks and how new it is.
Yeah, and it's even got traffic sign recognition, which means it has a camera in it, which I totally didn't expect. Yeah, and apparently it's even got heated seats in the upper trims. And I watched Matt Watson's video. He's thinking about buying one, lifting it, and supercharging it. Matt, if you're watching, highly recommend doing that.
But only in the greenish yellow.
And then when we can fly again, we're gonna come visit you and drive it.
I'll tell you the reason I'm getting a Jimny. You see, I've had one of these, Mercedes MG G63 from Mercedes, for almost a year now, but they're having it back, the buggers, so I need to replace it with like the mini-me version because I can't afford the real deal. And the Jimny looks like a baby G Wagen, doesn't it? And I'm going to supercharge it so it's a bit more powerful because otherwise it's quite slow. I'm going to jack it up so it looks a bit meaner, though it'll never look as mean as that, but yeah, it's going back. It's just the way it is. But Jimnys are cool though. They're definitely cool. By the way, do you like my t-shirt? I'll send you guys some.
So from everything you've seen, would you love to have those in North America or what? Like drive that around for a week, do some like little off-roading? How much would you like that?
I would love it a lot. It might even fit in the bed of my Raptor so I could just tow it around basically like an ATV. It's a lot more expensive than an ATV, but it looks a lot cooler because it's basically a car that's road legal, but you can still take it into the forest and not have to worry about it too much. So yeah, I would like it a lot.
I would love to see them in North America, but since we don't have them, what is the price?
Well, I picked the UK as my price point, so it starts at around £15,000. So if you convert that directly to Canadian, it's right around $25,000.
I mean, that doesn't seem that bad for such a cool looking car. For something that pretty much looks like a 4x4 square, but cuter, like I don't mind that price.
I would love to see these things rolling around the streets instead of like a Ford EcoSport or EcoSport, whatever you want to call it.
But I guess we're just not cool enough to be buying those kind of cars here.
I guess not.
So until we get a chance to actually drive one, watch our G Wagen 4x4 square video, which is as close as we can get, except maybe like 10 times the price.
It looks like we should be back on the road driving real cars soon, but in case we're not, let us know in the comments what we should cover. Pick cars from Europe and stuff that we don't get in North America.